ほら、ルフィ、今一緒に海賊になる仲間を探してるんだ。
Hello guys, welcome to my channel The Wandering Zoro, your go-to destination for anime-related content. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. In today's video, we're going to be diving into the final part of the series, so be sure to stick around until the end. And let's get started. Aizawa woke up from an alarm. It echoes to his ears the moment he woke up. Emergency meeting? He asked himself. Then the speakers of the hallway turned on, and the voice of Nizu spoke up. Please, all teachers come to my office post-haste to cancel all ongoing classes. This is an emergency, is what Aizawa heard before he grumbled. Wait my quirk apprehension test to the students. Looks like I have to cancel it. He slapped his forehead. He literally slept through his supposed quirk apprehension. I guess I should go. Just what's so important that Principal Nizu called for all the teaching staff out of the blue. As he composed himself and folded his sleeping bag. Principal's office. Currently, all the teaching staff are gathered within Nizu's office. I see. Now, with all the staff gathered here, we're going to have a talk about an attack on the teacher's lounge. They all gasp. Some had composure, and some had a vocal reaction. What? The lounge got attacked? Midnight asked, confused why villains would even try to attack UA of all places. And why is the little listener here? Present Mike asked while pointing at Izuku, who was beside Nizu, drinking a cup of tea. Izuku put his cup of tea and composed himself. With all this staff, he needs to show proper showing of supremacy and calm composure. You see, Sensei, I was the one who got into an altercation with the villain who attacked the teacher's lounge. He showed the crumpled papers that the villain missed or dropped when running away. Midoriya, isn't it the schedule of the classes 1A and 1B? Aizawa asked the student who nodded. Yes, Sensei. The villain dropped it from where she, or whatever that purple cloud thing is. He ran using his own quirk, some sort of portal that lets people or themselves to travel from one point to another. Izuku rested the papers on the table. I felt that thing's life force. From what I felt, that thing can't even be considered human, so I tried killing it, but it ran away. Some teacher's eyebrow furrowed hearing Izuku mentioning killing. Midoriya, why do you have an intent to kill a villain? All Might asked, confused why his student just mentioned killing out of the blue. It's not actually killing. That thing, whatever it is, isn't living. Someone did some experiment on dead bodies. Izuku slammed his hand on the table. That's when everyone felt the air within the room became thick, the weights of his words over them. Everyone felt Izuku's killing intent as he spoke. Someone tried to play God. I could feel the soul stuck in that container. I heard its voice. It's repeating in my head like a broken record. All Might interested, since this sounds like All for One. What did the voice say? Young Midoriya? All Might asked, then Izuku coughs and continued. Save me. He pointed at Aizawa. Shoyuta. Aizawa, on his seat, began to shake. Mike on his left side and Midnight on his right began to comfort the man. Over and over again, the voice pleaded. Izuku added, as tears began to roll down the trio's eyes. It can't be. Midnight, still crying with her hand covering her mouth, still processing the information given them. You sound like this trap soul has connections with you, senseis. Midnight hearing Izuku asking them. She walked towards him and hugged the poor boy. I know this is vague, but it sounds like the old classmate of ours, Midoriya. Please look into my eyes and tell me more. Midnight then cupped Izuku's cheeks, wanting the boy to reveal more. Izuku saw the broken lady who cupped his cheeks softly. Aiza, please. She looked so pitiful. So having pity for the mature woman, Izuku continued. Please, Nim. Calm down, I still have something to say. Izuku pried off her hands on his cheeks and continued with speaking. I still have another important thing to say. Since with my sensitive dragon hearing, I heard the villain say something before I slammed him through the glass. Izuku paused, walked to Nizu, and took the rook piece on Nizu's chessboard. I heard him say about a Trojan horse. Izuku raised the rook piece for everyone to see. So I'm sure of my words when I say this. UA has a traitor. Then he looked at the teachers one by one and spoke again. It's not one of you. I heard the villain mentioning that their Trojan horse has been there in the lounge once. putting the rook piece back down. So, I doubt a teacher has only spent one time inside the teacher's lounge. Crossing his arms, I say a student is the traitor, a student who has the determination to work with a villain. Izuku finished. You're not saying that we'll have to doubt every single student out there, right, Midoriya? Blacking asked. I already have my suspicions, but I'll keep it to myself until I gain more dirt on him. Izuku said, while Aizawa and Nizu were the ones who caught the clue in Izuku's words. Him? Both Nizu and Aizawa voiced out, yeah. Izuku now began to walk towards the door. And about the killing part. It's personal to me. Then, they felt Izuku's killing intent doubled. A villain who took my loving mother's life. I will find him. Izuku opened the door and looked at them, and show him the wrath of a dragon, and I'll take out his heart from his living body. Izuku closed the door behind him as he left the room. Everyone took a few moments to process his words, and Nizu who first gained control of his instinct. Aizawa, have eyes on Midoriya, make sure no one pushes his patience. Nizu commanded, and Aizawa took that order to heart. He knew how dangerous Midoriya could get. He felt that unbearable intent to kill. Yes, sir. You felt that too, didn't you? I have to go. I still have something to talk with him. Midnight excused herself and goes after Izuku. Nizu, being an amalgamation of several animals, meaning he has strong instinct, so it's a given he felt Midoriya's intent. It scared him. Yeah. Everyone heard the stutter of Nizu. His intent to kill far surpassed any villain I faced. Both Aizawa and All Might thought. Give him everything he wants, a place here in UA if he wants, some favors or whatever he wants. If he's caught doing anything with his girlfriend on school grounds, ignore it. Give him special treatment. Nizu said, while a picture of a white dragon from the entrance exam was projected on the huge TV. I don't want that against us. So treat him special from other students. I know this isn't right, but this is for the better. Nizu commanded his staff as they all nodded. Aizu, I need to talk with you. Please stop walking. Izuku was grabbed by Midnight. Nem, what do you want? He asked. I need to tell you something. I adopted someone. A little girl. She then focused on the most powerful part of her letting out something, and as the light dissipated, Izuku's eyes widened in shock. A person appeared. Fate had just kicked Izuku Midoriya in the nuts. People he feared are powerful dragons and gods, and the person before him is both of that, a dragon god, and its Ophis no less the dragon god of infinity. Safe to say, Izuku almost shat himself. Albion himself was shivering his timbers. Partner? I'm not seeing things right. A sweat drop on his forehead. His finger was shaking while pointing at the little girl in front of him. Partner, as much as I want to console you, no, you're not seeing things. His partner assured him. He then got on the little girl's level, crouching down. You sure? Izuku said while pinching Ophis by the cheeks. You sure this is real? Albion almost died out of frustration from his partner. For Christ's sake, is handling the dragon of infinity like she's some normal little girl. Let her face go, partner. Don't make her angry, or we're both dead. Albion screamed inside Izuku's head, while the latter grasped his head from the irritating voice of his partner. Hi, father. Mother Namuri said I could spend time with you. She said so casually. Albion officially died because of that. Albion, why is she saying I'm her father? No reply. Izuku sighed. Albion. Still no news from the dragon. Albion. Still nothing. For God's sake. Now I'm the father of the dragon of infinity. Just what did you say to her, Namuri? Much to his chagrin, Ophis looks at him and spread her arms. Up, father, uppies. Izuku for a moment stopped working, his brain fried. As a minute passed, he gave up and took the little dragon. He rested Ophis between his arms. Thanks, father. She said so emotionlessly. Oh, now that's cute. You look like real daughter and father. Namuri teased. No, Nem, don't even. A tick mark over head forehead, clearly irritated. Come on, you gotta admit you do look the part. She gave him a wide smirk, much to his chagrin. Now about the mommy part, I don't mind filling the part while you fill me up. She charmingly bit Izuku's ear. Nem, we're only student and teacher stop. This is illegal. He wanted to stop her, but his own heat was stopping him. Who says it's illegal? You're already an adult. Plus he inched to his cheek. It's only illegal if we are caught. She licked Izuku's face, while Ophis looked so confused and lost. Albion, if you can hear me, divide my arsel, now divide F it. Izuku's plea inside his mind echoes as Albion didn't hear one bit. You useless reptile. Izuku walked the hallways with Ophis in his arms, who mind you still hasn't earmuffs. Whatever he and Midnight did, the little child in his arms didn't hurt a single thing. I swear, Albion, you're useless when I needed you the most. Izuku screamed in his mind. How is this my fault? You're the frisky deviant who can't control his own energy. That's not my fault. That's yours, retorted Albion, who was pissed off that his partner put the blame on him. Maybe it's my fault. Izuku pondered whine Albion sighed at his partner's expense. Yes, it is. Albion huffed in Izuku's mindscape. Izuku wanted to drop a bomb in his classroom, so the moment everyone was there. Classmates, we've been attacked. The alert just an hour ago wasn't just a warning. Someone is plotting against us. Ida, who was confused and worried, raised his hand. Midoriya? Izuku nodded. How are you certain that somebody is really trying to attack UA, and it's not just the reporters? He asked, while Izuku huffed in agreement. Sure, the guy was right to ask that question, but think outside the box, guys. Can you really say for certain that a reporter would go that far? Their network is at risk if they have done that. Izuku raised his finger again. Second, I met their recon guy who wanted to steal important document from the teachers. Even fought the monster. Luckily, he only got a glimpse of the documents before I divided his butt. Izuku finished, much to almost everyone's astonishment, that he gone toe-to-toe with a villain while still being a student. That's awesome, man. You're manly, Midoriya. Kirishima praised him. Awesome if that quirkless one isn't lying. Bakugo grumbled to himself, who was given a sneer from Izuku. And yet this quirkless one beat you up. Nothing new, their villain. Izuku retorted, while Bakugo wanted to bite back, but couldn't. This son of a is pissing me off. He thought, do not be tempted to bite back, partner. You'll just prove his point if you do. Drake said inside his mind. I know that. He is egging me on. Bakugo grumbled, not saying a word. Now that's done, I want to add something. He pointed at everyone in the class, one by one. Something the matter, baby? Mina questioned. Yes, something is exactly the matter right now, babe. One of us. He paused for dramatic effect. Is a traitor. With his magnified, he glanced at everyone and saw a reaction. Someone shivered. Checkmate. His eyes landed on Yuga Aoyama, but quickly he dismissed it. How are you certain with that, Midoriya? Momo Yorozu, the second brightest mind in the classroom, clearly wanted more closure with her own theory as to why Midoriya thinks like that. Because beautiful goddess of Class 1A. He winked at Momo, who in turn doesn't know what to think. Is he flirting with me? Doesn't he have a girlfriend already? She thought. A baby so unfair you called Yamamo beautiful and a goddess. Are you cheating on me? Mina playfully said. Come on, babe, can you blame me though? He protested, and Mina nodded, seeing his point. Ahem. Now back to the point. The villain I fought specifically said Trojan, meaning an insider, to be close, to be friends with us for assurance. Whoever planned this, they're too dumb to think I'd never see through this. He sighed, be vigilant. The traitor may be just closer than you guys think. Izuku walked towards Aoyama and stopped just beside him. You can't sparkle your way out of this one. Now shine, little spy. He whispered, to not arouse suspicions. He always go to almost everyone. What's your brand of hair dye? For Kirishima. Then he goes to Hagakure, then to everyone as he whispered random things to their ears. He didn't let anyone answer as he moved to the next. He didn't raise anyone flags and made sure to ask questions by whispering to everyone. Even Bakugo. For Bakugo, it's just a how are you? Still weak, I presume. And that pissed the blonde off, which gained him a F off Deku from the angry blonde. Maybe some of you think Bakugo is the spy because of how he acts, but no, I know him too much for him to be the spy. Izuku rested his arms on Katsuki's head. Oh, that sweet baby, you see goodness in Bakugo. Mina squeals. F off, weird eyes. Bakugo yelled, which gained him smack to the head thanks to Izuku. No bad-mouthing my girlfriend Bakugo. She's off limits. He said while Bakugo groaned from the pain on his head. Curse you, Deku. He growled. I love you too, Bakugo. Moi, Izuku teased while walking away. Just keep my warning in mind. Be vigilant. Our little spy is just close to us, mon ami. Izuku said, slyly as his mouth curled into a smirk. Momo Yaoyorozu's eyes widened. Mon ami? That's French, and the only one except me who could speak French is Aoyama. Her eyes locked with Izuku's own. Are you giving us a clue, Midoriya? She thought. She saw it. He winked at me. He knows what I'm thinking, is he? Giving me signs? Momo thought while looking at Izuku. Izuku, on the other hand. He winked because he wanted to flirt with Momo a little. She's so cute while thinking. Wonder what she's thinking about. She looks so deep in thoughts. Izuku gave Momo a sincere. Izuku's sincere smile in her perspective looks a little off, so she thinks Izuku is just confirming her thoughts. So I was right. He's pointing his finger towards Aoyama. Momo gasped inside her mind as her puzzle was formed. Thanks for the clue, Midoriya, Momo thought before giving a smile to Izuku, who somehow got it messed up. Why is she looking at me like that? Does she want to do it? Was Izuku's hormonal thoughts? Perish such thoughts, you deviant. The voice Albion reprimands him. Izuku, when the break time bell rung off, awaited at a corner. He waited and waited for someone. When that certain someone was about to walk past him, Izuku grabbed their arm. Don't you dare scream, Aoyama. Izuku got his hand, covering Aoyama's mouth, making sure he doesn't scream. If you know what's best for you. Coldly he spoke while making sure Aoyama felt the blade on his side. You'll do as I say, or your glittery blood will pool over this floor. He felt Aoyama nodding his head. Good, he said, because if you did scream, you know what happens. Aoyama nodded profusely. From Izuku, he felt true fear. He didn't know what kind of dark things Izuku Midoriya is capable of. So, answer my question. Izuku let go of Aoyama. Now speak, Glittery F. He said, who do you work for? When I mentioned there's a traitor, you're the only one who flinched and shivered like their cover was blown. Izuku traced Aoyama's neck with his blade, being careful not to slice it open. Midoriya. How? Aoyama asked, fear coating his voice. I have slippery fingers, Aoyama. Don't test my patience. Izuku threatened while Aoyama cried, not of sadness, but out of fear for his life. I can smell lies, Aoyama. You can't hide from a dragon's nose. Now tell me, are you the spy or not? For a moment, for a second, Aoyama's world stopped. His body was being threatened. One of his feet was already stepping in death's door if he lied now. I'm gonna die. Mida, no. This monster isn't jesting. He'll really kill me. Aoyama, for the first time in his life, he felt fear that even All for One can't make him feel. All for One. I'm his spy. Aoyama got to his knees. Fear got the better of him. Izuku retracts his knife and puts it back in his back pocket. Good. Then have fun being the spy, I won't tell. Izuku turned his back on Aoyama, who seemed shocked at what Izuku said. Midoriya, what do you mean? Aoyama saw Izuku, who almost didn't care and just shrugs at his question. It means what it means. They'll sooner or later find out. As for me, I'm keeping my mouth shut, plus Aoyama. Izuku whispered something to Aoyama. Do what you want, but the moment my girlfriend Mina gets hurt, just know you'll wish this All for One person killed you first. Izuku's tone was so cold that it sent shiver down Aoyama's spine. Yes, Midoriya, understood. Aoyama was shaking like a leaf. Midoriya is someone not to be messed with. Aoyama knew he wasn't kidding. Oh, before that, you tell me All for One's plans before they take actions. You're my little pawn now, he said to Aoyama, who nodded at Izuku's request. Good boy, now run along. He waved Aoyama off, who ran like his life depended on it. Izuku was left there all alone. You're planning something, aren't you? Albion asked. He knew his partner too well. You know me too well. Of course I am, Albion. He spoke coldly while watching the figure of Aoyama running away. Let's play a game of chess, All for One, he said before leaving. He saw Mina, who was trying to find where he was. Hey babe, come on. Mina jumped on him, as Izuku carried his princess while Ophis stood there confused, not having a single idea of what was happening. So she just goes along walking with her father, who has Mina coiling around Izuku's torso. Izuku, along with Mina and Ophis, had passed by Ibara Shiozaki, who was just eating in the cafeteria. Partner, it's her. She has what we need. It's twilight healing. Albion spoke with Izuku telepathically. I felt it too, Albion. It's still bugging me. How did a sacred gear found its way here? Ibara Shiozaki was minding her business, when she felt a gaze fixed at her. So, she looks around the cafeteria. She's sharp too. She knows when someone has their eyes on her. Izuku added, Albion agreed that girl is too sharp to be just a normal student with a sacred gear. Was someone watching me? I felt someone had their eyes on. Is it one of those harlots again? I swear, forgive them, my lord. Their body only acted by their instincts and lust. Ibera prayed for whoever was having dirty thoughts of her while watching her from afar. And she's a believer of the God of the Bible. Just wonderful. Albion grimaced. He and the God hadn't really see eye to eye. I'll have my eyes on her. Let's see what this maiden is hiding to herself. Izuku said, as his eyes locked with Ibera Shiozaki. He only gave her a sincere smile, trying not to look like stalker since she saw him looking at her. Why is he smiling at me? Is this what Father Dilio told about? Stalkers? She thought, while her eyes still locked with Izuku's own emerald ones. But I do admit, he doesn't look like one. He seems nice, but why does he have that girl coiling around his torso? How unsightly they are, so vulgar. Ibera grimaced at the display of public showing of the two's love and clingy behavior. So, to not appear rude, she gave him a smile back. Though she's not capable of showing a smile, so in Izuku's eyes she want to bang. I swear I'm right this time. I mean, look at her. She's like luring me in. Izuku thought, while Albion sighed. You're an actual ex-deviant. You fool. Albion screamed in Izuku's mind. Oh God, Izuku wasn't having the time of his life. I mean, who would even endure the yell of a giant white dragon? Momo Yaoyorozu is a sharp woman. Her IQ test would prove that. It still bugged her how Midoriya was so calm, while making her think that Aoyama is the traitor spy in their class. How did he find out, or even draw a conclusion that Aoyama is the spy? She thought while eyeing Izuku across the table. He's currently spending time with Mina and Ophis, who sat on Izuku's lap while the latter feeds her. You really are an anomaly, Midoriya. She grasped the hem of her uniform. Just how many steps had you prepared for? Are we really that far behind from you? She added, cursing her own lack of vigilance and reading people. Why am I so fixated on him? Time skip. Izuku had been chosen as class representative, earning a vote from Momo, Ida, Aoyama, Kaminari, Mina, Ojiro, and most surprisingly Mineta. Oh, thanks you guys. I won't disappoint. Izuku bowed in front of his class. You deserve it, Midoriya, Momo said, a little too blush on her porcelain face. Who voted for that Deku? Bakugo exploded. And what are you expecting, dude? We're voting for you. Not happening. Kaminari replied to Bakugo's question. What before Bakugo could speak, Izuku glared at him. Settle down. As class representative, I'm ordering you to keep your mouth shut before something vulgar comes out of it. Be good now, Bakugo. Bakugo was seething at what Deku just said, but he couldn't do anything. Don't partner. Don't act rash, he's egging you again. Drake reprimands him before he could do something. I know. Shut up. Bakugo retorted back. Izuku saw Bakugo calming down and could only think. Good boy with a smirk on his face. So since Mr. Aizawa is still asleep, just review your notes, that's all, thank you. Izuku got back and sat down on his seat. After that, Mina texted him something. Pinky, glad you won, baby. Izuku, it's a given, babe. I always win, that's what I do. Pinky, that's what I like about you, baby. You're always confident about what you do. I wish I have that. Izuku, you wish you could have it. You can have IT later if you know what I mean. Pinky, you hottie one. You know I can't say no to you. Izuku, I know, that's why I asked. Izuku puts his phone down and smiled at Mina. From across the room, she knew that look very well. Looks like I won't be walking tomorrow. She whispered to herself while looking at that sly smile that Izuku gave. Although Mina was still limping due to what they did yesterday night, Aizawa had informed them that today they'll be going to the USJ or unforeseen simulation joint. They all joined outside, a bus parking before them. All right, you guys, form a line. Boys and girls separated by 2 lines. Then inside you can pick your seats. Izuku commanded, while Jairu was first in line. Hi, you got a class Republic, she said while getting inside. Izuku, who was beside the bus door, kept his gaze fixed on her, especially her rear. God, she got that. Izuku was interrupted by Albion again. Stop. I don't want that cheeks slapping dragon title again. Don't you dare, yelled by an already traumatized Albion. Wait a minute. Izuku looked back and saw her. Her eyes were locked with his own. You like the view, class rep? She teased before going in and taking a seat. Thank God nobody heard what she said. Maybe I do. That girl is unto me, I swear. Izuku thought while guiding everyone in order of getting in the bus. Mina's gonna kill me for sure. Bus en route to USJ. Izuku sat in between Jairu and Mina, while Momo is beside Mina. I have something to tell you, class rep. Do you mind if we change seats there at the end of the bus? Mina spoke to him, while her fingers lingered around his legs. Sure, if it's really important we do need the privacy. Izuku replied, while Mina nodded. The two made their way at the back of the bus, half their bodies covered by a set of seats. Why don't we start with this baby? Mina opened Izuku's zippers and plopped his lengthy and girthy anaconda out. Meanwhile, back at the others, Jairu wasn't having a good time. She could hear it. Do they know I can hear them right? Darn, I got turned on by just listening on them. Jairu could hear it. Every wet noise when Mina started beating Izuku's wet pee-pee covered by Mina's low acid that acts as lubrication. Are they XHBTNSD? Why are they doing it here of all places? She saw Izuku, who was giving her a sly smirk. Oh, now you're biting back. I'll get you back for this, Midoriya, she said with her cheeks flushed from the wet, sloppy noises her jacks are picking up. I hate this day already. She pouted while making sure her legs were closed. The heat her body felt is unbearable. Add Izuku's draconian aura, it made it worse. Unforeseen simulation joint. Entrance. They had arrived. Okay, guys, let's see what Aizawa-sensei has in store for us. Izuku stated before going inside first. Well, he's excited. Come on, you guys. Mina excitedly followed him, much to Aizawa's tiresome sigh. Kirishima walks with Izuku. You sure have an awesome costume, bro. Izuku scratched the back of his head. This costume was Izuku's own hard work. He didn't request it from a support course, but commissioned it from a well-known tailor. Ah, shucks, man, it's not much, Izuku said, a little embarrassed that someone is praising his hero costume. You fool, stop acting so embarrassed. We're proud dragons, Albion exclaimed. Albion, you idiot, I sound trash. When I'm proud, so give me a break. Albion sighed at his partner's idiocy. They all walked, Mina clutching Izuku's hand as the two walked like an actual married couple. Since we're here, come on, say cheese, baby, Mina said while holding up her phone, taking a selfie of her and Izuku. Gosh, we're so cute together. I'm posting this on my Insta hero. Much to Izuku's chagrin, hero hopefuls in several other schools have been flooding his private message and Insta hero. He hated that too much praise and meat writing about him. Dozens of girls had sent him their dirty photos, even though he got tired of it, even when as a healthy, young adult male. All right, you two. That's enough, we're here, Aizawa stated, reprimanding the couple. Whoa, it's awesome, dude, Kaminari said while nudging Tokoyami's side. Ah, careful, he retorts. A figure appeared, coming out of one of the pillars. Good morning, students. I'm going to be your co-professor for today's lesson. I'm pro-hero TH somehow. Her name drop was stopped by none other than Ochako. 13. It's pro-hero 13. It's really her, she exclaimed. The very excited tone of Ochako Uraraka made everyone chuckle except for 13 and Aizawa. As they approached the stairs, Izuku felt something. Wait, stop, Izuku commanded, as everyone took their undivided attention to Izuku. I'm feeling something. Izuku pointed an area. There, at the fountain, Izuku shouts, and the fountain materializes a gassy, purple smoke, too thick to be even called a smoke. It then formed into a portal, swirling with a hand coming out. Dozens upon dozens of villains began to come out of the purple portal. Are those fake villains? Awesome, UA's the best, Kirishima shouts, while Aizawa gets in front of them. No, those aren't fake villains, 13. Get the students out of here, Aizawa stated, commanding his colleague. All right, I'm on it. 13 nodded, then went to gather everyone up. You heroes, you will swim in your own pool of vital fluid, and you lower-ranked players with no experience points, you'll be the sacrifice to bring All Might here. A pale man with pale blue hair exclaimed so high that even at the steps every student heard it. Izuku looks at Aoyama, So, this is the attack you were talking about. Good, now I can have some fun. Izuku thought while gazing back to the villains, the mere grunts of the bunch, then to the mastermind, Tamura Shigaraki. Ha! Why are you even speaking in D&D terms? You neat. Izuku arched his hand forward and aimed it at Shigaraki. You stupid hero grunt. You're gonna pay for activating your aggro ability on me, yelled the said villain. I'm a high-level player. You just a grunt, yelled Tamura Shigaraki, already agitated. That's where you're wrong, crusty lips, Izuku exclaimed, spreading his arms. Because in this little game you call life, I'm not a grunt, nor a player. Izuku paused before smirking at Shigaraki. I'm the admin, then pointed at Shigaraki. And you're hereby banned from life, he stated before rushing in. Izuku's thoughts. From what Aoyama said, this guy with the warp quirk, along with this crusty lips pale blue hair guy, is the most dangerous piece in the board, than that hidden weapon that Aoyama mentioned. Hey Albion, scan any availability for hidden villains, I said to my partner. From the draconian magic circles, I'm picking up a necro-based humanoid creature just beside the pale-haired young man. Albion replied to me, then, I don't have any choice. I need to act, and now is the greatest time to do it. Izuku was moving fast, making sure he dodged attacks from Kurogyri without being warped away by his said man's quirk. Baby, be careful, Mina shouted at him. She's shaking from her unrivaled concern for Izuku's safety. Izuku nodded at her for a second and continued evading attacks from Kurogyri. You're sloppy misty. Izuku taunted. He wanted the villains to act on their anger and cloud their judgment. And crusty lips, buy a lip balm and a lotion. You're so dry that the Sahara Desert looks better than you. By saying all of that, Izuku had pushed Shigaraki's nerves. He knew how a sheltered guy like Shigaraki would get into his skin. Shut up, you NPC. I'm skipping your dialogue. Shigaraki lunged forward, fingers ready to disintegrate Izuku the chance he gets. The heck are you talking about? This isn't some in-game storyline interaction. Touch some grass, Izuku yelled before stopping on top of the water fountain, looking down at Shigaraki and the mist villain. You're pissing me off. Can't believe an NPC could aggro me, Shigaraki yelled while lunging towards Izuku. Since you have so much hands all over your body, let's add one to that collection, Izuku said while bringing out something. He focused and focused as the figure of Shigaraki. You died today, hero, exclaimed Tamura as his hand arched to Izuku's torso. Let's add one more to your collection. Here, let me help. Shigaraki's eyes widened. Master Tamura, Kurogyri yelled, both concerned and fear masking his voice. Arg! Shigaraki whined in pain, clutching his arm that was missing a hand. How was it? Did you like th? Izuku paused. Nomu killed the brat. Izuku felt a presence. Slowly but surely a person was being revealed as the camouflage quirk deactivates slowly off of the Nomu. Oh no, this one is strong, but not strong enough. Albion heard his partner's roar for his armor. Vanishing Dragon Balance Breaker, Albion announced, as the armor materializes over Izuku's body. What do you think? Some armor can save you against Nomu. You're dead wrong, you stupid, overpowered NPC. Shigaraki yelled at Izuku while pointing at him. Nomu, kill that brat right now. Izuku raised his brow at that commanding tone. He's thinking like hell would that creature follow Shigaraki's command. Izuku was dead wrong, all right. The Noma did followed Shigaraki's command and punched Izuku. Was that supposed to hurt me or something? Izuku teased, while smirking at Shigaraki who was seething in anger. How? Nomu was supposed to be able to fight against All Might, revealed Shigaraki, who was shaking a little. That's the thing. Izuku paused while creating tension between him and the Nomu. There's just one problem here, you see. Why I'm just playing with your pet here, that's as strong as All Might, it's just simple really. Izuku said while crossing his arms. He freshly sent Nomu to the fire zone. I'm just stronger than All Might. Shigaraki's eyes widened from shock and fear. He didn't know who this student is, but is not taking a risk. Get the back up here, Kurogyri. As portals opened and revealed several dozens of villains, and their faces were of anger and loathing towards the hero hopefuls. Is Midoriya really okay? I know he's stopping those villains to protect us, but what happens to us if he lose? Asked a Freighton Kaminari. He likes the guys since Izuku is easy to talk to. You kids stay here. 13 take care of them. I'll help Midoriya. Aizawa stated before jumping into the fray with an intent to help Izuku. Fear was on everyone's faces, even Aizawa and 13. The most ones who were affected the most are Mina and Momo. Mina, who's Izuku's girlfriend, and fear clutching her heart, while Momo watching fear and anticipation, while hoping Izuku would pull through. Be safe, baby, / Midoriya were Mina and Momo's shared thoughts. Izuku's thoughts. I can't let them go past me. My classmates would he endangered. I can't use Juggernaut Drive, or this place would crumble down. TCH, you're one prepared guy for someone who acts like a spoiled otaku brat. I taunted Shigaraki, while also punching the Nomu away to a corner of the USJ. Nomu, why are you so strong? I laughed at that. Does he really think they're at the top of the food chain? These guys are hopeless. Kurojiri manifested a portal behind him, and Shigaraki, young master, this is too dangerous. We must retreat now. Shigaraki for a moment lamented on those words. No, I won't fail. We'll kill All Might here and now. Shigaraki got his resolve back as the Nomu stands back up, already healed from the damage he took from one of Izuku's punch. He's distracted. Scatter the stew. Shigaraki was about to say something, but got cut off when Izuku's arm went through his abdomen. How's my GUT wrenching punch? He retracts his arm as Shigaraki's innards hits the ground as a pool of vital fluid formed below him. You monster! Shigaraki whined before falling into unconsciousness. Young master. Kurojiri didn't hesitate and manifested a warp portal beneath Shigaraki and closed it. Mark my words. The sensei will hear of this. Kurojiri spat with venom in his voice. Nomu returned. He commanded the beast whom obliged and went inside the warp portal. Oh yeah, your sensei. Tell All for One I'm waiting. He could be a good warm-up. Izuku spat back as Kurojiri's yellow foggy eyes widened at that statement. We'll see each other again. White-armored student, Kurojiri threatened before going into his own portal. Izuku didn't follow them. He knew All for One will play his game. Izuku's thoughts. I will wait for you, All for One. Don't disappoint. Students and Aizawa, along with 13, ran to Izuku and dealt with the remaining grunt villains. Midoriya. That was illogical. Why would you ran to a fight head-on like that? A worried Aizawa reprimands him. Yes, Midoriya, I must agree with Eraser here. What you did was reckless. 13 added. Senseis, I'm the class representative. I have my own responsibility towards my classmates, and their safety falls under my responsibility. He stated. The day went on, as the class goes back to UA and was given a week of no class days since they experienced a villain attack. Unknown laboratory. Shigaraki, within the confines of a see-through tube glass, his unconscious body floating inside the liquid substance, somehow healing his body. For the meantime, Izuku Midoriya, All for One, using his sensory quirks, looks at his student, his masterpiece that is Shigaraki. You did well, Tamura, but you ran into a wall without thinking strategically. Flexing his hands, All for One had one thing in mind. That powerful quirk will come in handy against my final dance with that oaf. Unknown laboratory. The masked man, supported by many life supports known as All for One, the symbol that instilled fear in the hearts of several generations. He stood with his most trusted doctor, Kyodai Garaki, as the two looked at the tube glass where Shigaraki could be seen floating in some unknown clear liquid. He'll recover, master. He needs a few days for his body to get used to the quirk we got from Nomu and transferred him, Garaki stated, while All for One hummed. He couldn't see clearly, but by some echolocation and hearing quirks, he could make out Shigaraki's state. I can't believe he let himself be aggravated by a hero in training like that. All for One sighed for his student's incompetence. Noma didn't even have the chance to fight that blonde oaf. All he did was fight a student for a few blows. The symbol of fear paused. The data we got from Nomu isn't even worth it. I wonder what that vigilante-turned-hero in training has for a quirk that he defeated Noma easily. All for One pondered, his mind already having some thoughts of it all, making theories in mere minutes. From what I can get from the CCTV systems in USJ, Master, that man has a quirk that lets him summon a white armor over his body, and while donning the suit of armor, his strength goes into unprecedented levels. Garaki informed his master, who merely smiled sinisterly at the thought. A strength multiplier in the appearance of a suit, that would be a good quirk to add on my arsenal. He proclaimed. Dr. Garaka knew his master would try and take the quirk. I will have your quirk one day, one way or another by any means. All for one, determined by any means to have that quirk for himself. He saw the videos, he knew that one quirk would help him greatly. Your day will come, Izuku Midoriya. Joke's on you all for one. Your days are numbered by one digit. Izuku sat through class once again. He knew something is about to happen. That somber look on Aizawa-sensei says it all. All right, you problem children. There's still one thing you need to prepare. Aizawa said. Kaminari shocked and decided to speak up. Another villain attack. Aizawa sighed at that. No Kaminari. No villain attack. What you students need to prepare is the upcoming sports festival next week. Everyone gains stars in their eyes. Finally a stage we can shine on Drake. We'll show that Deku that he's below us. Katsuki Bakugo thought, while grinning like a creep, much to Izuku's chagrin, who knows a bit what that grin entails. Here we go again, another ego trip for Mr. Katsuki. I got a small PP, so I'm compensating Bakugo. Izuku sighed, then shook his head. At least I could get some fun out of this sports festival. He smiled. He knew people would see him shine, and most importantly, he has a mission to assure the minority, the quirkless population. He was quirkless once, so he wanted to give them hope. He will fight in the sports festival for them, for their sake. As the recess time approached and the bell rung, they all go towards the door as Ida opened it. Ah! Ida screamed like a girl when he saw so many people hounding them at the door. Excuse me, will you please get out of the way? My classmates and I want Ida got pushed away. Someone clutched his face and waved him away to the side. That was rude, Ida exclaimed. Clearly when with his patients, he's still getting angry at them. I mean, who would just push someone to the side by their face? So this is the popular class 1A. You guys don't seem much for a class who survived a villain attack. Some guy with purple hair said while entering the room. And do you amount to much? May I remind you, by your scrawny body, you're a general studies. Izuku got to him, towering over the arrogant kid who looked like he's sleep-deprived. Cocky now are you, just because you survived a villain attack. The boy bite back, cocky? No confidence, yeah, what are you even so gung-ho about us surviving a villain attack? Our lives was on the line, and you're all here thinking like we deserve it, because we got some publicity. Izuku spat on the floor. He's clearly agitated. Baby, that's enough. Mina clutched her boyfriend's arm, as Izuku's anger slowly calmed down. Look here, I don't care who you are, what your quirk is, but if you put my class down because we survive a villain attack, we're going to have a problem. Izuku felt another hand stopping him. Midoriya, let's just go, they're not worth it. Momo said while doing her best of holding Izuku back. What do you mean by that? We're not worth it. You class 1A guys are a bunch of arrogant ones. Some blonde-haired, weirdo-looking butts in and entered the classroom too. Nito Monoma from 1B. Momo glared. She hated this for a person. He's arrogant for no reason, and it pissed her off to no end. So what do you mean by we're not worth it? Did you honestly think you guys are better than us? Nito Monoma yelled, furious at what Momo said. Don't yell at her, you idiot. Izuku then felt. An icy hold hand held Izuku by the shoulder. That's enough, class rep. Don't let them get into your head. Shoto Todoroki spoke in his monotone voice. Get out of our way, you extras. Bakugo yelled, meeting the blonde, Nito Monoma, eye to eye. He's the one in front of them, trying to keep them in like some caged animals. Bakugo wasn't afraid to use his quirk, so he lets out a small explosion in his hands as a threat. Like I said, out of my way, extras. Some of the class agreed. You let us out. You're acting like villains. We're hungry. Uraraka, who didn't have breakfast this morning, protested since her belly was already growling. No further issue occurs, as the people spreads to open a path. Just her mentioning they acted like villains made them see what they're doing. UA Sports Festival Stadium. Thousands of people sat at all the chairs, accommodated by snacks and drinks. They all watched as the students were introduced. Give it up you all for the class that survived a villain attack. Class 1A. President Mike announced as Class 1A lead by Izuku and Momo entered the stadium at the arena, along with their class representative who saved them single-handedly by fighting off villains of the USJ, Izuku Midoriya. Izuku sighed at that announcement. Now he got more light on him. Just great. Then there's their sister class, not as known as Class 1, but they're here. Give it up for Class 1B. President Mike didn't realize it, but he just thrown a shade at Class 1B. They entered, led by Itsuka Kendo, their class representative, a woman that instantly took Izuku's interest. Quirk. Big fist, huh? I wonder what those hands could do. Izuku thought, you unhinged horn dog. Can you at least think for a moment? Without thinking about how you spread a woman's leg. Albion yelled in Izuku's head. Ahem. My bad. Izuku said while scratching his head. Other classes were announced by President Mike as they entered, one by one sections. Since everyone's here, Midnight's eyes lingered on the crowds of students, eager to prove themselves. It's time for the speech for the sports festival to commence. May I call the person who scored the highest in the entrance exam, even overtaking All Might's own record, and also the class representative of Class 1A. Midnight pointed at Izuku, who she saw late. Come here on stage, Izuku Midoriya. She shouts, announcing Izuku's name for everyone to hear. Izuku walked beside Midnight as she whispered in his ears. Make mommy proud now. I'll have Ophis visit Aizawa and Mike later tonight, and I'll have you to myself, is what she whispered in Izuku's ears. Izuku gulped down. He felt threatened by this Amael. Both him and his PP felt threatened. Izuku rested the microphone in front of him as he prepared. I just want to say that today I'm fighting not just for myself. Izuku urged Midnight to bring out what he requested. I want to fight for the quirkless people. I want to give them a message. Izuku, with the help of Midnight, put something on his arms. I want to win this today to show you all. Izuku raised his arms towards the sky. Quirk suppressors on both his arms. That even a quirkless person can be a hero. So that's why. Izuku paused for a moment as he declared himself. I am here. The first match is announced. A race go around the whole area and return back to the other side, the finish line. Good luck, babe. Izuku touches Mina's shoulder, whom gave him a smile. You too, baby, she replied before the boom of buzzer resounded. Go. Everyone bumped shoulders just to get ahead of each other. Izuku's movement was inhuman. He dashed forward. Too slow, you, he remarked, ahead of the pack of hungry wolves trying to prove themselves to everyone. Seeing no choice, TCH got ahead. Shoto Todoroki didn't hesitate to put a glacier behind, slowing down other students, but Momo, Bakugo, and other students still got out of there by the nick of time. Get back here, Deku, I see hot. Bakugo shouts while using his boosted quirk thanks to Drake. He could only use 3x at best. Too slow, you idiots. I may not have a quirk, but I still divided your butts as an area of effect. Izuku thought while running, meters away from everyone. He's on the lead. Look at that, people. Midoriya, even without a quirk, is on the lead. President Mike announced. He's proving his point at least. Aizawa added on the stand with Mike. Back to Izuku. He got into the first obstacle in his way. TCH, same old faux villain robots. He dodged an attack and cartwheeled his way of another faux robot's attack. These things get boring sometimes. Nothing new? Izuku whispered, then run ahead, leaving the robots to deal with other students. Said students were having a bad time. Are they trying to kill us? Why are these robots here? A random student from the support course yelled, using his propulsion boots to evade an attack. That's insane. Trying to get away. Folks, are you seeing this? Midoriya just got to his first obstacle, the fall. How will he accomplish this? Stay tuned. Mike announced while Aizawa beside him sighed. While with Izuku, he arrived at the first real obstacle, the fall. Looks like we're doing this the ninja way. Izuku decided to jump on the cable and began running on the cable, his body light as feathers, his whole body balanced, making sure not falling into the pits. Meanwhile, at the stands, some people are discussing some things. Are they sure he's quirkless right now? Is that thing even working right? Some dumbass quirk-reliant hero said he doesn't believe Izuku's quirk suppressors are working. I don't know Ririnade. It looks like he's purely using his body's own balance and running through that cable like he's a trained ninja. Don't you see how Edge Shot runs on electric cables? Another hero butts in. Izuku finished to the fall and looking behind him. So those slowpokes finally caught up. Izuku ran again, picking up speeds and making sure it's under 30-50 kilometers per hour. Not for long, suckers. He yelled. Then for a moment something caught his eyes. You gotta be kidding with me. Another sets of those junks. He's unfortunately irritated by those robots. He closed the distance and run along the huge robot's arms. There you are, he said before kicking the button on the robot's neck. A safety feature that turns them off. Power Loader should put more thoughts on these robots. They're junky at best, no proper movement and agility. He murmured, whispered really. A moment after disabling the second faux robot, Izuku didn't even flinch. His body moved like water-controlled, honed, deliberate. He launched off the bot's shoulder and landed silently on a narrow scaffold, the metal barely shaking beneath his weight. And he's off again. Midori is putting on a clinic. Look at that body control. President Mike roared. I've been watching his vitals. No boosters, no artificial enhancers. That's just pure training, Aizawa said, arms crossed. He's optimized every part of himself. Back at the obstacle course, Bakugo blasted through rubble, eyes locked on the green blur ahead. Curse you, DKU, he shouted. Who gave you permission to be this fast? Todoroki wasn't far behind, eyes narrowing. He's not using any tech. No quirks. Just muscle memory. He did say he'll fight quirkless, but this is unbelievable, and I'm here, handicapping myself. Shoto looks at his fireside, one he doesn't use. Momo, vaulting over fallen robot parts, frowned. It's like his entire body is trained to solve every problem. The second obstacle, the minefield, lays ahead. Izuku's breath slowed. His pupils dilated. Step. Pause. Click. Boom. A mine exploded far behind him, triggered by a pressure delay he calculated in his head. 3x3 spacing, shallow compression triggers. Power Loader style is consistent. He leapt sideways, adjusted his balance mid-air, and slid across a slope with complete fluidity in his movement. Bro looks like a ballerina. Students in the back struggled. Some trigger mines, others used quirks to evade. One from the support course yelled, "Is that guy a machine?" Folks, I can't believe my eyes. Midoriya just predicted the entire minefield without help. President Mick's voice cracked from the strain. No quirks, no support items. This is raw talent. No, not talent, Aizawa muttered. This is obsession at this point. Finally reaching the edge of the minefield, Izuku didn't pause. He sprinted straight toward the final stretch, the massive steel mountain designed to slow everyone down. Gravity, friction, instability. Izuku's mind calculated everything at once. He leapt, grabbed an edge, didn't stop. His arms burned, his lungs strained, but his grip didn't falter. His fingers were bloodied, nails cracked, but his focus never broke. Every movement was deliberate, controlled, like he had done this 1,000 times in his head. Below him, the others finally caught up. Get out of my way. Bakugo exploded upwards in a burst of fire, snarling like a beast. I'm taking you down, DKU. Can't hear you. I am winning. A distant yell from Izuku. Todoroki froze a slope and used it to climb quickly, while Momo built footholds. But even they were just now touching the midsection of the mountain. By that time, Izuku had already reached the summit. He exhaled. His chest rose and fell rapidly, sweat pouring off him, but he didn't stop. No support gear, no enhanced shoes, no grappling hook, murmured a pro hero in the stands. What the hell is this kid? Then a reply from another pro. He's what we could have been, another hero whispered, if we didn't have quirks to lean on. With a final, effortless leap, Izuku soared down the other side of the mountain, bending his knees on impact, rolling to absorb the shock-perfect form. He rose from the landing. As he ran towards the entrance of the stadium, he's reaching it. Dust flared behind him. The tape snapped across his waist. And that's IT. Izuku Midoriya, The quirkless underdog finishes first. Mike yelled. The crowd exploded. The ground beneath him quaked from the aftershocks of others finishing the race. But Izuku stood tall, panting hard, fists clenched at his sides. A camera drone hovered near. He looked right at it. No quirks. No excuses. Train harder. He yelled at the camera of the drone as his speech was broadcasted. Up in the commentator booth, Aizawa leaned back. That's going to stir up the whole hero world. The thunder of the stadium still echoed in the lounge halls as Izuku stepped through the door, sweat-drenched, vital fluid drying on his palms, yet calm as ever. Every student inside shifted, eyes tracking him like he was some kind of anomaly. Because he was. No quirk, no support gear, just grit, speed, and brain power. Izuku didn't look at anyone. He walked to the nearest bench, sat down, and began rapping his knuckles with the medical tape provided. He moved quietly, methodically. Then, there he is, came a sing-song voice, soft but laced with pride. Mina Ashido jogged over and dropped down beside him, flushed and smiling. She leaned her cheek on his shoulder. You're insane, baby. Izuku looked at her sideways and gave a quiet smile. You're not mad I left you behind? You beat a fleet of faux villains, danced over mines, and climbed a death trap with no powers, she grinned. I'd be mad if you didn't. He chuckled faintly. You sure? I'm your #1 fan, baby. Always. Her tone was casual, but the fire in her eyes wasn't lost on him. Mina wasn't just supporting him, she was proud. Fiercely. The stadium stirred again when the heavy doors slammed open, and Midnight strode in with her usual strut. Survivors of the first round, she said with a dramatic flourish. Welcome to your next challenge. The screen behind her flickered to life, displaying bold, blinking letters. Cavalry battle. Groans rippled across the room. Standard rules. Midnight continued, except the stakes are higher. First place holder, Midoriya Izuku. She grinned at him from across the room. Is worth 10 million point silence, fell like a guillotine. Every eye snapped to him. Izuku looked up slowly, but he wasn't rattled. Just thoughtful. I'm dead, he muttered under his breath. If I don't use divine dividing here, I'm screwed. Not on my watch, baby, Mina replied brightly, hopping to her feet. You think I'm letting these vultures get near you? As the group scrambled to form teams, Momo Yaoyorozu approached with confidence. I'm assuming you'll be the rider, she said, eyes meeting Izuku's. That would be the smart move. It is. Izuku nodded. And I'm asking you to carry me. Momo blinked, surprised, then smiled. Understood. A moment later, Mei Hatsum appeared out of nowhere with a loud stomp of her mechanical boots. If you're not using tech, I want in. Gotta see how you do this, Raw. Izuku looked between the three of them. Momo, Mina, Mei. A solid base. Mobility. Defense. Power. I'll lead. You three carry me, he confirmed. Formation A, tight wedge. We rotate clockwise if we get boxed in. Mina left. Momo right. Mei center base. Keep me mobile, and I'll keep you out of trouble. You're the brain, baby. Just tell us where to go. Mina winked. In the stadium. And here we go, folks. Present Mick's voice boomed through the speakers. The cavalry battle is underway, and every team's got their eyes on one thing. The 10 million point headband. Team Midoriya stood tall at the center. Izuku sat upright on Mina, Momo, and Mei's shoulders, balanced like a commander on a war chariot. He scanned the field. His green eyes were sharp, cutting through dust, motion, and chaos. Tetsu, and Ibra. They're going to try a corner rush. Mina, side shift. Momo, prep a shield just in case. You got it, baby. Mina yelled, already moving. Tetsu charged forward, and just as predicted, a vine whipped across from Ibra's side. Momo threw up a quick shield, and it ricocheted clean off. Push forward 2 lengths, Izuku called out. Watch the flanks. The team moved as one, trusting him without question. Meanwhile, Todoroki's team watched silently from across the arena. He's not just surviving, Todoroki muttered. He's commanding, like a general. Bakugo snarled from another corner of the field, eyes blazing. That nerd! I'm not letting him win again. Center of the chaos. Updraft incoming, Izuku shouted. Mina braced herself. I got you, baby, she reassured. A sudden wind burst from a team using air manipulation, nearly knocking over half the field. But Team Midoriya held steady. May adjusted the center of gravity, Momo anchored their footing, and Mina instinctively leaned to counterbalance. Perfect coordination. Izuku adjusted his grip on a headband and grinned. Let them come. He grits his teeth. 30 seconds left. They were surrounded now. Multiple teams had converged, forming a loose perimeter. Hold formation. We drop back and bait them in. Then break left hard. He commands them, as they steeled their resolves. Just say when, baby, Mina said, steadying her breathing. Now, they moved like water. The others lunged and missed. Izuku's team spun out, circled wide, and cleared the crowd with meters to spare. Buzz. The buzzer rang. And that's IT, Present Mike roared. Midoriya's team survives the storm and keeps the 10 million headband. What a masterclass in strategy. Izuku exhaled, finally letting the tension slip from his shoulders. He looked down at the three girls, all sweaty and tired but beaming. Mina looked up at him and smiled. Told you we got you, baby. He smirked. I never doubted you girls. He said. The battlefield had changed. Gone were the team strategies and terrain hazards. What remained now was pure, brutal simplicity, a wide circular arena, a single opponent, and the expectation to dominate or be dominated. The 1v1 tournament bracket hovered in the air on a large digital screen. Whispers ran through the crowd. Ignite. Match 1. Izuku Midoriya versus Hitoshi Shinso. Inside the prep area, tension crackled. Izuku stood still, arms relaxed, eyes sharp. His body was loose, but every inch of him was ready, coiled like a spring, waiting to strike. Mina stood beside him, arms folded under her chest, watching Shinso from across the hallway. Baby, she said, quiet but firm. I don't trust him. Izuku followed her gaze. Shinso was watching him, two-face, unreadable, still as stone. He's dangerous, Mina added. And not just quirk dangerous. He's desperate. Izuku's jaw clenched for half a second. Desperation isn't strength. I know, Mina replied, but it makes people reckless. He nodded, then turned to her. Don't worry. I've trained for this. Mina smiled faintly. I know, but just in case. Remember who you are. Izuku paused. A dragon doesn't bow. Not to anyone, not to a simple human. He said softly, right, baby. She kissed his cheek. Now go tear it up. Match 1. Midoriya versus Shinso. Begin. Midnight shouted. The buzzer sounded. Both students stepped into the circle. Shinso didn't move aggressively. Instead, he paced slowly, hands in his pockets. You think you're better than me, Midoriya? He asked casually. Because you have fans? Because they're calling you a hero without a quirk? Izuku said nothing. Shinso kept talking. You know what it's like being told you don't belong. So why are you standing where I should be? Izuku stayed focused, but his foot shifted. Come on, say something. Shinso taunted. And then, that's not what this is about, Izuku replied instinctively. His eyes widened a split second too late. He realized what he did. Snap. The world around him stopped. Everything dulled. His body stiffened. Limbs unresponsive. Eyes glazed. The crowd gasped. He spoke. Up in the stands, Aizawa flinched. Midoriya took the bait. And it looks like he's controlled. Mina stood up in her seat, hands clenched into fists. Baby, no. Why did you took the bait? Shinso smirked, stepping forward. That's it. Just a few more steps and I win. You're just another person in the useless bin. Like me. Inside Izuku's mind. Silence. Darkness. A void. Floating in place, his own thoughts slipping. But then something stirred. A spark. A flame. A voice. Albion's voice roared back against the fog. You fool. Do not be controlled by a mere human. You're my partner. Partner, wake up. Fight through it. A resolve in Izuku lit up. A mere ember moments ago became an inferno. You don't own me. You're not the master of me. I am a proud and noble dragon. I will not become a puppet for you to feel accomplished. I made a promise. To the people. To people like me years ago who lost their flames. I will not give up. I'm Izuku Midoriya, Mina's boyfriend, and the White Dragon Emperor. Back in reality. Shinso stepped closer. One more step. Wham! Izuku's foot slammed into the ground, breaking the brainwashing. He looked up, eyes ablaze with sheer determination. The arena shook. The crowd went dead silent. What? Shinso gasped, stumbling back. Izuku stood tall. You don't own me. You don't have the right to put your strings on me. He said coldly. I'm a dragon. Izuku yelled in fury. He dashed forward, quicker than before, faster now with purpose. A swift leg sweep knocked Shinso off his feet. Before he could recover, Izuku grabbed the front of Shinso's jacket and threw him over the edge. BZZT. Winner, Izuku Midoriya. Midnight exclaimed, while smiling at her little co-parent, Tuophis. The crowd roared with renewed force, but this wasn't surprise anymore. It was awe. Mina raced to meet him by the tunnel as he returned, sweat dripping down his temple. You did it. She grinned, throwing her arms around his neck. I thought you were gone for a second. Izuku rested his forehead against hers. I was. And then? She waited. He smiled. And then I remembered what you told me. She beamed. That you're a dragon? No, he whispered. That I'm yours. Before he planted his lips on hers, they kissed as the camera locked on them. GAWD was almost everyone's reaction. Should we be here? A blushing female hero watching on the stadium front seat. If they start doing it on the stage, I won't be surprised. A random guy said, somehow joking. Then they all saw Izuku was taking his PE uniform off. Mother FUC as they saw he only threw it away. And they heard, I stink. I need a new shirt. Izuku said while holding hands with as they walked off. Oh, never mind, said the random guy, and breathed out an exhale in relief. Thank God. They didn't do it right then and there, he added before laughing. Ha, you're just maidenless, my guy. Shouts someone from a few more row of seats above him. He caught a stray. After a good few minutes, another matchup occurs like Todoroki versus Zero, and the outcome was decided before a battle could ensue. No offense to Zero, but that fight was already decided before it even started. Todoroki was just too powerful for someone like Zero, who has no advantage in a stage with no walls, pillars, or buildings he could latch on. Izuku sighed. He knew he was too harsh to Zero, but it was the truth. To be honest, Midoriya, I share that judgment. It may be harsh of me, but Zero-kun is outmatched from the start. Momo Yaoyorozu shared her thoughts on the matter. Yup, you did your best, man, but it's just impossible, Kaminari said, but gave a thumbs up to Zero, who was being thought out by Todoroki. At least he did his best, right, guys? He looks at Kirishima. Of course, bro. To be honest, even I can't fight to do bro on a one-on-one fight. Kirishima added, because you guys are a bunch of weaklings, I can beat that icy hot, no-prob Katsuki felt a tug on his shoulder. Stop. Come on, I decided to come here with you, and you're going to be bragging. Come on, Kei-chan, that's enough. Let's just enjoy the fights. A lust-laced voice of a woman spoke. Whatever, Tomato Head, just shut up. And the mutt was calmed down. By the way, where did Midoriya ran off to? After his thoughts about the fight, he just ran off somewhere. Is he having some fun exercise? Why Hagakure spoke up, somewhat curious, but was cut off by Mina, who was puffing her cheeks. I'm here, you know, as the girls laugh at Mina's expense. Meanwhile, Maltie's phone buzzed, and she immediately took it and stood up and walked to the sides. Yes, she hummed, and curiously listened in to whoever spoke on the other end. Then, after a minute, she smiled. All right then, whatever you say, Daddy. She hung up the phone, before licking her luscious red lips. Then, she walked back to the stands where Class 1AR and sits beside Bakugo. Who was that? He asked. Oh, nothing. It's just my daddy checking up on me, she said, while Katsuki scowled and said, whatever. He spout. Meanwhile, at the outskirts of the buzzing city, I will stop you no matter what, hero killer Stain. A hero yelled. Ingenium, you're a true hero. I have no business with you. I don't hate you, but you have to stay out of my way. Stain spoke, malice laced in his voice, as he threw a dagger at Ingenium. Stain, Ingenium, you have hunted and killed far too many good-hearted heroes to be a free man, hero killer. Stain dodged a propelled punch from Ingenium. Good-hearted. You're far too naive. This country has a few good heroes, true heroes, and far more fake heroes. Stain retorted. The idea that the ones he killed were good-hearted heroes sickens him. If you knew what those good-hearted heroes did, you would have killed him yourself. Open your eyes. Stain almost cleaved off Ingenium's head, but the hero fortunately dodged in time before the blade could make contact with his neck. Let's settle this, hero killer. The stadium was buzzing with the crowd's energy, but the atmosphere in Class 1A's section was surprisingly chill. Izuku was leaning back in his seat, looking more relaxed than anyone had ever seen him. Ophis was sitting on his lap, looking as tiny and stoic as ever in her dark dress. She didn't seem to care about the explosions or the cheering. She just liked the quiet vibe Izuku had going on. Down on the field, the fight was basically just Mei Hatsum using Ida as a literal test dummy for her gadgets. Every time Ida tried to do something heroic, Mei would just activate another remote control piece of gear to stop him and explain how it worked to the crowd. The one with the glasses is very loud, Ophis muttered, her head tilting as she watched Ida sprint in a circle he clearly didn't want to be in. Izuku chuckled, resting a hand casually on her head. That's just how Ida is, Ophis. He's a good guy, he's just a bit too intense for his own good sometimes. I see, Ophis replied, leaning back against him. And the girl with the pink hair? She's also loud. That's Mei. She's definitely a handful, Izuku said with a smile. Just then, Mina Ashido leaned over from the seat next to him. She had been watching the match with a big grin, but now she turned her attention to the two of them. Her pink skin practically glowed in the sunlight, and she looked totally at ease. Hey, babe, Mina said, nudging Izuku's shoulder. I'm gonna go grab some drinks before the next round starts. You want anything? Just water is fine. Thanks, Izuku replied, looking at her with a soft, confident expression that showed exactly why they were together. Mina stood up and stretched, then looked down at the tiny dragon goddess on Izuku's lap. Never mind, I'll take her for a bit. You look like your legs are falling asleep. Why don't you get some snacks for us? You okay with that, Ophis? Izuku asked. Ophis looked at Mina, then back at Izuku, and gave a tiny, almost imperceptible nod. Izuku carefully lifted her and shifted her over to Mina's lap. Mina sat back down for a second, settling Ophis comfortably against her. Got her, Mina chirped, wrapping an arm around the girl. Go ahead and stretch your legs, babe. We'll be right here. Izuku stood up, giving Mina's hand a quick squeeze. Thanks. I'll be back in a few minutes. I need a parfait. Hopefully I won't bump into someone. Oh, Izuku, you unfortunate soul. As he walked off toward the stairs, Ophis didn't even protest. She just leaned her head against Mina's shoulder, looking perfectly content to stay with her, while the stadium continued to roar. I can't believe Izuku made me a stepmama. So cute. Mina cooed in her mind, seeing her now, officially cute as heck daughter. Pinky Mama, I want that. Ophis pointed at Hagakure's ice cream. Ice cream? Sure, let's get one. Mama's gonna treat you. Hand in hand, Mina walked with Ophis away from Class 1A. I want a baby too, was all the girls' united shouts. Izuku leans in on the hall's wall with his eyes closed. Took you long enough, so how was it? Izuku talked as a shadow approached. Just how you planned it, Daddy. A sultry voice responded to Izuku. Her face isn't seen, only her figure veiled by the shadow. Good. As Izuku looks below, seeing the porcelain skin of the shadowed woman on his waist. Give me a good spanking for being a good girl, Daddy. Izushi bit his ear, while Izuku looks at a green dragon insignia on her chest. My ears. My virgin ears. Albion yelled in Izuku's head, having a panic attack with all these hot and sultry situations that Izuku is in. Meanwhile, at the stands. Yeah, you okay, man? You're bleeding. Your nose is dripping down. Kirishima asked Bakugo, worried that his classmate has bled out through his nose. What th Katsuki tried standing up but fell on his knees, all the strength in his legs lost its vigor. Kirishima-kun, have Bakugo be checked by Recovery Girl. He has a match coming after this one. Momo Yaoyorozu commands him. Since Izuku isn't here to take charge, she'll take the lead for now. On it, Yamamo. Kirishima excused himself and took Bakugo by putting Bakugo's arms over himself, dragging the nearly unconscious boy towards Recovery Girl. Kirishima, who was dragging Bakugo along, passed by Izuku. As the two passed by, Izuku smirked. Hope you enjoy Dragon. When you fall, Izuku didn't hesitate to laugh like a madman the moment Kirishima and Bakugo turned around the corner. Minutes later, oh hey Bakugo, Kuin's girlfriend. Uraraka, being the nice girl she is, waved at Malty, who smiled back at her. Just call me Malty, Ochako-chan. Her smile was contagious that even Malty smiled at her. Malty-chan it is, you have a wonderful name. She gave a thumbs up, by the way. Why are you limping, Malty-chan? Asked Ochako, who saw Malty massaging her behind, and she saw the lip bite that Malty did as if she remembered something. Oh I fell on my butt hard on the pavement. I should have watched where I'm going. She explained. Knowing Ochako Uraraka being an innocent girl, she believed it without asking more questions. That's gotta hurt. Bad. Ochako also cupped tea, but after hearing that, as if she experienced phantom pain just by hearing it. Some of the girls also heard it, praying for her fast recovery. Suddenly, without a second of hesitation, Katsuki Bakugo suddenly ran away from them. What was all they heard from him. Baku bro, why Kirishima wanted to check on his classmate, but Malty with her fake smile grabbed him by the shoulder. Just let him be, he's pissed off. Kirishima just nods. Then they all look back at the current battle in the center of the arena. A one-on-one between Shiro and Shoto Todoroki, a one-sided. Something you can't call a beatdown. This will be fun, Daddy would love it. Malty had a certain someone, who came her a wink. Meanwhile, with Katsuki Bakugo, who just entered a comfort room. He's looking at a mirror, seeing himself having a nosebleed, while clutching his own chest. What the heck is happening to me? He snarled at his reflection. Hey you useless lizard, what's happening to me? Katsuki asked the dragon living within him. It can't be. Drake's voice was grim. It was bad. Very, very bad. Dragons fall. Another chance has come again. A battle between Izuku Midoriya and Shoto Todoroki, the valiant hero who uplifts the moral of the quirkless people, against the masterpiece of Endeavor's twisted mindset of surpassing All Might at all cost. You better not hold back, Todoroki. Izuku said while staring at Shoto Todoroki at the other side of the arena. Speak for yourself, Midoriya. You have a quirk-canceling handcuffs on you. Who's the one holding back between the two of us? Shoto retorted. Touche, replied back Izuku, pretending to be hurt by that statement. All right then. Izuku then burned the handcuffs in a molten metal that didn't even burn his skin. What the? Flames? Shoto Todoroki's eyes widened in shock and confusion. That's not all. You do know everything is possible with magic. Well, draconic magic, that is. With that, Izuku began to simultaneously erupt ice and fire from both sides of his body, immediately showing what Shoto could have been if he stopped holding back. At the stands, it can't be. He's the same. He is both fire and ice. Who is this brat? Endeavor raged from the stands. You shut your mouth, you overgrown, flaming salamander. Izuku glared at the stands where Endeavor stood. Come on, partner. Why are you using the magic of Drake and Seraphol Leviathan's ice magic? Albion was hurt. He sure was, since his partner refused to use his powerful venom against Shoto Todoroki. Think, Albion, he'd die from your venom. He's not a supernatural being. He's barely at the strength of a middle-class devil. The ones who can survive your venom are super devils, and that's barely surviving. Albion only let out an I get it before shutting up. How can you use both flames and ice, Midoriya? Just who are you? Shoto Todoroki asked. Meanwhile, Midnight just stands there. Should I even do my job? I'm still the referee here. Midnight asked herself. Okay, you two, that's enough. Midnight raised a gun toward the sky, pulled the safety pin, and bang, start. She wanted to ran away from there to make sure she's not a casualty of the match. But a little girl, her little girl Ophis, took her hand. I will protect you, mother, here. Ophis said before a magic circle appeared covering the two of them. The magic circle has the infinity symbol, a dragon devouring its own tail. Izuku stood there. With his dragon traits, is by far the most sensitive to movements. He could anticipate Todoroki's move before he'd have the chance to execute it. So he's relaxed. He wanted Shoto Todoroki to move first, and he'll graciously respond with an appropriate counter. TSK. I don't have anything personal with you, Midoriya, but you're digging a hole you don't have the business of unearthing. Izuku's eyebrow raised at that. Oh. Family drama. So who is it? Abusive mother? Abusive father? And judging by your reaction, I'd say. Izuku arched his arm and pointed at Endeavor. An abusive father, perhaps? Izuku smirked. I was sure I hit him, he'd never come out of that. Shoto huffed out a breath of icy air. You did it, Shoto. Shoto snarled at the figure of his father. The ice exploded. Did you really think it would be that easy to take me down? If I wouldn't be here right now. Izuku yelled as the fragment ice slowly melted. The air began to change climate. The icy air became hotter at the center of the arena. Izuku, Midoriya, stood there. This isn't over. This will never end until you use your flames. With that, the arena began to shake. Ryukyu was watching. She was at the roof of the stadium watching the event below unfold. This is bad. Then, a mental connection formed as she heard Tiamat's voice. I felt the presence of Albion, but is using the magic of Draig and the ice magic of Seraphol Leviathan. Just who is this boy? Tiamat said in interest, while Ryukyu's body is feeling an unbearable heat in between her legs. You are in heat. Use your energy to temporarily block his aggressive aura, or else you'll be forced to mark him as your mate. Ryukyu did what Tiamat told her, and now she's able to stand without the tingly sensation in her stomach and wet him. PSSY. Then, Izuku and Ryukyu locked eyes. Before Izuku mouthed, so you're here, Tiamat. As the battle continues, let me show you the very definition of not holding back, Todoroki. I who shall awaken. I who shall awaken, Izuku said as Midnight knew exactly what was about to happen. Her eyes widened and knows deep in her heart that yes, she loves Izuku, but she still has a job to do. Don't do that. She glared at Izuku. She wanted that minuscule amount of chance that Izuku would listen to her. A transformation like that would cause an explosion of power that would wipe out half of this entire arena. So please, Midoriya, I advise you stop chanting. She reprimanded him and walked closer to him. She knows she can't stop Izuku and his unstoppable strength, but her job is to be a referee, and that is what she'll do. Don't worry, I got something way better than a Juggernaut drive. Izuku smirked. What are you doing, Midoriya? Why are you stalling? Shoto yelled at him. He's already pissed that Izuku kept egging him on. Don't care. By the way, Ophis-chan, do you want to see something unique? Something no previous wielders of Vanishing Dragon and Welsh Dragon have ever done before? Izuku saw the glistening eye of interest Ophis had at what he said. Mama Namuri, I want to see what father has in store for me. I am curious. Of what he'll do. Let it continue, and I will protect everyone with my defensive magic circle. Namuri Kiyama glanced beside her and saw the glint of her and Izuku's adopted child. Ophis, are you certain you can protect everyone inside this arena? Since if you can, I will accept the match continuing. Midnight asked her child. Ophis didn't say anything but nodded. Then a huge dome of magic formed over them, protecting the crowd from what's about to happen. Random crowd. Bro, what's this thick energy thing? The random crowd taps on the dome shield and realizes with a thunk that the shield is very solid. Midnight, are you sure you're letting this farce continue? Samintas asked her, knowing full well the secret relationship Izuku and Midnight have. In his mind, maybe she's just giving favoritism to Izuku. Let happen. Shoto Todoroki needs a wake-up call, and Midoriya needs to see something else rather than just power. She said, Izuku just stand there smirking. You're wrong, Nim. Power is exactly that only matters in this world. He thought while Albion. Agreed, partner. Forgive them for not knowing better. They don't know the atrocities that humans are capable of. Someone can't help people without power. People can't fight back without power. All that matters is power. Albion paused. And those who truly understand power will never be trampled by it. Albion added as Izuku nods in agreement. Losing his patience a bit, Izuku asked again. So are we doing this? I promise I won't use Juggernaut Drive. Izuku holds out his raised hand in promise. All right then. Reset. Get back to your corners. With that announcement from Midnight, both participants walked back to their own corners. Bro, what just happened? Why did the match just got almost canceled? Zero sighed. His day ruined and disappointment immeasurable. This Deku better have something worth watching, or he's just the same worthless piece of trash he was back in Aldera. Katsuki scowled. Meanwhile, beside him is Malti. In Malti's mind, you stupid son of a, I would have burned you by now for saying that to him. While she caressed the cyan blue dragon mark. Yeah, I said what I said. She has a vanishing dragon mark on private area. You should have foresaw this by now, Teehee. God, he's still as Katsuki suddenly coughed up again. Bakugo, you are cursed. Tokoyami spoke in a grim tone. Oh, just how right you are, Tokoyami-san. He is. Malti maliciously smirked while looking away, just to be sure no one would notice her. Meanwhile, at the other side where Class 1B sat, Monoma was looking at Class 1, but trying to make some of them angry, but when Katsuki Bakugo coughed up vital fluid, he wanted to look away. He sure hates 1A and how arrogant Bakugo is, but he's not a villain, he knows some limits. But he saw the malice-laced smirk that Malti made. What the heck? Isn't she Bakugo's girlfriend? Why is she smirking while those 1A jerks help Bakugo, who's coughing like he'd cough out his lungs? This gained Monoma's interest, and he's curious for sure. 1A's top strong students and their weird taste in women. He sighed and looks away while Class 1A helps Bakugo. Ida takes him to Recovery Girl. Izuku stood there, relaxed and not in any kind of discomfort. He knows his strength, and Shoto Todoroki is far from his own ballpark in strength. I'll give you one chance to walk out of the arena. Izuku threatened Todoroki, whom didn't back out. Midoriya, I'm not going to surrender just because you said so, Shoto replied, but he felt his spine shivering from the cold he's feeling. Do you know I'm sure of my strength, Todoroki? Izuku asked. This made Shoto gain a curious expression. No. Why? He said. Izuku laughed at that because my darkness is deep. I know how hard I tried to have the strength I gained until now. Izuku started walking slowly. Because I was weak years ago, that my drive to become stronger is indomitable. I train and train until my bones break and heal, and I'd break them again. The crowd froze. The shouting they did stopped. The cheering is gone as they heard some of what Izuku said due to the surrounding mic that picked it up. Meanwhile, your drive to fight is shallow. Your darkness is shallow. Izuku stopped directly a few dozen meters facing Shoto. I pushed deeper and deeper to achieve what I have now. He pointed a finger at Shoto. Meanwhile, here you're holding yourself back because the past has those chains wrapped around you. You're a chained animal, Todoroki. The chains of your trauma tightens the more you try and hide it. Then, a huge eruption of energy came out, exploding from Izuku's body. You need to realize that there's people out there who wanted to have the chance you were given, to have a powerful quirk. And you have too, but you see them as an extension of your father. It's a tool, Todoroki. The quirk is a tool. Izuku shook his head in defeat. And you are a tool of your father, a scarred boy with no will of his own. At that, Shoto Todoroki shakes from where he stood and looks at Izuku in rage. I'm not a tool of my father. Could you finally stop holding back? I may have promised Namiri that I won't use Juggernaut Drive, but Albion, it's time the ground beneath Izuku shook as more leakage of energy began to explode out of his body. Let's show everyone, partner, the might of the White Dragon Emperor. Albion replied as Izuku raised his hand for the sky. I, who shall awaken? Izuku, please, stay away. The ghostly voice of Inko Midoriya begged her son, don't come home. My baby boy. Am, the vengeful dragon who lost all to the darkness of villainy. Izuku gritted his teeth, remembering the last he heard his mother, and it was her death. Run. Don't ever come home, my baby. Hearing the ghostly voice of his mother, Izuku couldn't help but shed a tear. Mommy loves you. So much. I longed for justice and pursued vengeance. Izuku's words were laced with malice. I'm so proud. of my little hero. For a moment Izuku could see his mother's figure, looking at him with a smile. I shall become the vengeful dragon of supremacy, and I shall drown you in the depths of my bottomless hatred. Izuku yelled at the top of his lungs that his yell became a dragon's roar, making anyone in the arena who has an animal mutation quirk shiver in fear. Draconic Albion spoke first, then more eruption of energy happened as Izuku is engulfed in it. Resonance. End of the chapter. Here's some explanation. Draconic resonance is a phase which Izuku and Albion's wavelength is in sync. This power doesn't have the backlash of Juggernaut Drive's vitality drain. Izuku's body in this state has characteristic of Albion's scales, thick fur, and draconic wings. Vengeful Dragon Izuku's rage is corrupting the power he is taking from Albion, making more powerful but draining his mental strength, causing him to lash out due to his traumatic experience of losing his mother, hearing her cries while on the call with her in her last moments. So, this was the end of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.